a little bit of everything. My lovely assistant, Kira, otherwise known as my daughter, thank you, darling, is going to be giving you some of our worksheets. And this is meant to be, as I said, interactive, because the role of the teacher, as you who are already teachers know, is to teach your students' class. So thank you for coming to your class. You're not coming to my class. I'm just holding space as the teacher so that the guru can do the teaching, right? Do we understand what that means, yogis? Yeah, sure. Like I have no freaking idea what you're talking about. So we'll go into that briefly. And if you have any questions, it behooves you to say, I don't know what you're talking about, or please explain that more, so that we can go into it. Because we're doing a live stream, I will also then repeat the question so that I can have the benefit of people at home getting the point of what we're asking about. But if you don't ask, I don't know. And if you don't know, then you're sitting there like wondering, and I guarantee if you ask, someone else is going to go, yeah, I had the same question, I just didn't get my hand up fast enough. So it really does make a difference. Let me know when we're on. Thank you. So it really does make a difference the more you sort of speak up and let this be useful. Does that make sense? Deal? Yes. Okay, awesome, thank you. Excellent, thank you, sir. And Carrie, when you're done, I'll take one of those just so I know what I'm talking about too. That'd be great, thank you. And you can leave them on the side in case other people come in, you can give more. Thank you, my darling. Gracias, chica. So first of all, my name is Kristen Eykel, and welcome to your class. 2 seconds about me. I have been a yogi for the past 25 years, and I started yoga because I was a model in Paris, and I was completely disassociated from my body. I did not know who I was. I knew what my commodity was, okay? So when you sell your body for a living, there's a certain aspect of disassociation that I chose to go through as a way to protect my identity so that I didn't get lost. Anybody dealing with the trauma track, you get the understanding of why we might want to disassociate. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah, totally, right? So, and so I learned a lot of very unhealthy behaviors. I starved myself, I did hash, I took drugs. You know, I did whatever you did to sort of stay skinny and sane and whatever. But as a result, I became very disassociated from my body. So yoga became the way for me to actually learn to inhabit and to be within this vehicle, right? To actually own her for the first time. So my first teacher was a book, which is kind of great that we have books and wonderful teachers. You get to borrow the brainwaves of the authors. So you get to borrow the brainwaves of the teachers whenever you sit in space. If you've ever sat in presence with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you feel that like your brainwaves change just being in the space of the teacher. So whenever any of us as teachers hold space for our class, we begin to open up and allow the teacher to do the teaching through us. Yes? Okay, so when you get into your practice, yogis, especially newbies who are learning what yoga means, and you're going to get a lot of wonderful descriptions about yoga in this arena, in this weekend, you will begin to hold space for the variety of aspects of you that you're learning to integrate, which is why I started off with my story about being, not integrated. Because the more we become integrated with the variety of aspects of who we are, the more we come into our integrity. So when I use the word integrity, I'm not speaking about just like being who you say you'll be, which is great. That's one, like being integrity with your word. That's awesome. But I mean in sense of integrity of being in, so for example, this room has columns that hold up the ceiling, right? And then those walls connect with the ceiling, and then there's this sort of structural integrity that happens, becomes strong. So the wind can blow, and hopefully there's no hurricanes, but a certain amount of energy can happen, and the building will stand strong. It is in integrity. As yogis, our job is to become in integrity with the asana practice, with the pranayama practice, with the mudra, the drishti, whatever else we've got going on, right? So we learn to become in integrity. So as a teacher, those of you may have just seen, or in other classes you've been in, you'll see people put their hands on the floor and their booty in the air and go, look, I'm doing a dog. And that's not a dog. Booty in the air, hands on the floors is not a dog. That's just some sort of thing. When you lock into the pose and you feel yourself where it suddenly becomes effortless and you're not grinding it out, you're now in integrity with your posture. Does that make sense? Anybody ever have that experience? Right? Where suddenly you're like, oh my God, it becomes easy. And that's what we want to have happen. We want to get into that place, into that flow, as they were talking about last night, right? That sense of being in the flow so that the posture becomes the integrity of who you are. And in that opportunity, you may also have a heart opening, you may start to cry, you may get really pissed off. And I tell all of my clients in my class, if you start to if there's snot coming down your face, I praise Jesus, thank you. Because it means you're touching something real. You're not just up there to look really awesome. You're in it for real. You're in your practice 100,000%, and you leave it on the mat so that you don't go to Whole Foods and give it to the girl at the cash register, right? Because you're not doing your yoga. Your yoga is not what you do for an hour here. Your yoga is for 23 hours out in the rest of your life, yeah? So we have our yoga lift, elevate, clear, and cleanse our stuff so that we can show up in our integrity. And that is what I hope that you will take away a little moment of that, not just from today, but from all of your practice, yes? So coming into that sense of integrity, we all have stuff. Stuff from our childhood, stuff from our community, stuff from the environment, EMFs and Wi-Fi craziness and that crazy conversation you had with your ex-boyfriend. Okay, all that stuff. We carry it around with us and we think no one notices. Everyone sees your stuff, sorry. Just like you can see, oh my God, that woman totally. We can all see your stuff. So it's okay, we all have stuff, we do, right? The idea is not to hide or cover it. The idea is to get into that integrity so that we can clear and cleanse it. Yeah? So when we do our practice, when we do our breathing, when we do our certain mudras or the asana practice, we're shifting the brain waves, we're shifting the energetic frequencies, we're changing the physical chemical download from your brain, the nervous system reaction to cause you to become a literally different energetic being. Anybody think you're full of shit? I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you guys get that? Hell yeah. Thank you. Right? So your practice is going to be different. If you're PMSing and jet lagged and just broke up with your boyfriend, that person's practice is a totally different practice from the girl or the woman or the man or the person who just got a raise, got engaged, and is in Tahiti. Totally different practice. The temperature, the time of day, what you're thinking, what you're wearing, the colors, what you just ate, how hydrated you are, all is going to influence your practice. Anybody know why? Oh, come on, it's your class, not mine. Yeah, it is all energy. All of it is energy. Everything is, in my language, a frequency. So I like to use the word frequency more than just energy, because energy sort of sounds like, yay, I've got so much energy today. I don't mean energy in the sense of you can have physical force. I mean energy in the sense of frequency. So basically, everything is frequency. If anybody's done any reading about quantum field theory, quantum science, I'm a total nerd for that. I love it, right? So it meshes so beautifully with the yoga practice and the yoga experience. Because when we get out of the idea that this is real, and I will kill you if you tell me it's not, right? If we get out of that mindset, and we start to get into the experience that everything is actually a vibratory frequency, then you have some power. Because then you can actually change what's going on. You can change your experience. Not just change your, I'm going to stop being in a bad mood and now be in a good mood. You can change your body's experience. You can change your hormonal craziness. Anybody going through menopause? Yeah, okay. You can change that. You can change the way you relate to the world around you. You can change how the world relates to you. Anybody have an experience of that? Yes, ma'am. What was your experience? I'm going to put you on the spot. Yeah, what was your experience of that?
Actually, it's related to the chakras.
Yeah.
In my teaching practice and just in my work, socializing and life, by clearing my energy field regularly and shielding myself, I'm not as stressed out,
Yep.
fearful anymore.
Yep.
I'm much more able to be present with people
Yep.
in space. And the other side of it is I can feel other people's energy a lot quicker than I used to.
There you go. She can feel energy more quickly, she can clear energy more quickly, and she can hold her own space more easily, so therefore I'm going to fill in the blank, not pick up other people's crap either, right? That's the other side. Who in here is oh my God, I'm so empathetic. Oh my God, I feel everyone's pain. You know that that's not helping you, right? You know it's not helping whoever you're with, right? Oh my God, you have cancer. Let me have cancer too. No. Do yourself a favor, clear and cleanse your stuff, so that you're not picking up or absorbing other people's stuff. Someone has a migraine, you don't need a migraine too, because it's not going to heal and cleanse their migraine. right? Now, the reason we have that, anybody have a guess or a gander or a thought or a perspective on why we might possibly be empathetic beings and why it might have served us at some point in our social history? To survive, why? Mm-hmm. Right. Totally. So you're absolutely right. So we would have her to repeat her idea. Yes, sir.
So the stream can hear. I want to hear. You have a mic, so.
Thank you. We have a mic. Daughter, would you be of service?
So when someone has a question, we'll use mics so everyone can hear. Appreciate it. And then
Thank you.
super awesome for people at home.
Yeah, it's super awesome for people at home. Thank you. Thank you, lovely goddess, divine child of mine. Would you give it to the woman in white, please?
Redo that, was great.
We're just going to pretend you didn't say any of that so you can say it all over again.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
I will repeat the question, which is, why on earth might we have decided that being empathetic beings was in our evolutionary best interest? Thank you.
So it was necessary for our survival as a species, given that we lived in a time where there were bigger, stronger beings than us. It was necessary for us to exist in social groups in order to survive. And given that we have extraordinarily complex brains, being able to pick up on the energetic frequencies of other beings help us survive with one another.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. So it's totally true. So we have developed in our being something called the parasympathetic nervous system, which wants to harmonize with the world around us, right? Which is why if you ever walk into a room and someone's just had a fight, you're like, oh, like you don't even have to know what happened. You just feel the vibe. Like your spidey senses get up, right? Or if someone's like looking at you, you're like, oh my God, like who? Like you feel it at the back of your head. Like someone is totally like looking at you. Okay. So our parasympathetic nervous system is looking to harmonize and balance with the energy of those around us, because in order to survive, we have to be part of the group. We have to be part of the collective. Thank you very much, Sedona, right? You have to be part of the collective because isolation meant literal death. You were going to die if we cast you out. So learning to harmonize and be in alignment with your community meant survival. Didn't necessarily mean that you had to agree with everything, but it meant that you had to, on some level, get along, right? So cut to today, 2017, there's still that like, I need to get along with people. People have to like me. We now don't quite have the same sociological imperative that we had back in the Stone Age, but nonetheless, you can see why that burning desire to be liked and to be accepted is still so much a part of our DNA blueprint. However, it may not actually be serving your purpose if what you need to do is actually stand out from whatever's going on that you don't sort of jibe with and become a trailblazer, become an instigator, become a teacher. Yeah? Does that make sense with your knowing? I need a hell yeah on that one, quite honestly. Hell yeah. Okay, awesome, thank you. So, so what does all of this have to do with the chakras? Anybody have a guess? If not, we have a microphone so you can actually speak into that. How does getting along with the community have to do with your chakras? What is the point, as you might guess or think or feel now? Thank you, Gata.
Because the communication emanates from the chakras?
Good guess. Yeah, it's absolutely true. So yes, communication does emanate with the chakras, and it's one of. Oh, I'm hearing feedback. And it's one of the ways we actually do communicate with the world around us. Absolutely, it becomes an interface. All right. So in the old days when we wanted to do healing, anybody's ever worked with shamanic practices or what have you, the ill child would be lying there. The shaman would come and do the work and literally pull into their body the unwellness and do the work within themselves to clear, cleanse, re-energize, basically do the connection, and then spit it back into the body of the ill child. Anybody ever seen this happen? Ever been experienced with that? Okay, that's how it works. I was initiated in the shamanic practice in the Amazon rainforest. And so in North and South American shamanism, this is indigenous medicine around the world. It is still practiced in many places, and it's ancient medicine. And it freaking works. It works. It's not super effective, but it works. And if you got nothing else, it's awesome. However, that's why shamans usually look like Quasimodo when they're like 40 years old, because they've like incorporated all of this energy into their body. And even with all of their magical practices, look, some of the stuff is heavy and dense, and it has teeth, and it doesn't want to let go. And so they become, what they become. So now, in this paradigm, as our consciousness is elevated, anybody got a feeling that our consciousness is actually elevated on this planet? Hell yeah, right? Totally, right? So we, as the consciousness vibrating meme out of our head, right? As more and more and more of us like hum and vibrate and dance and sing and like make love like fly out of our chakras, we're elevating the frequency of the planet. But the planet, she's also, we're her. We're not other than her. We are her. As much as that cell right there is you, even though it's different from your toenail, it's all you, right? We are all Mother Earth Gaia. You got that? Oh, you don't really get that. That's awesome. Okay, good, because we're going to do some of that today. You're actually going to get to experience how you are deeply Mother Earth. Not like as like, oh, we're one. Like, oh, isn't that great? Let's have a song. No, you are one. We are one. And it's really awesome when you get to feel and experience that. Yeah? Hell yeah. I love this girl. So that's what this guy is for. So let me just back up for 2 seconds. You can actually buy this poster. It's in the bookstore with all my other paraphernalia. But the reason I brought this is because it's the best, picture's worth like 10,000 words, not just 1,000 words. And this is really the best way I know how to describe the chakra experience. And we're going to go through this in the meditation. But the idea is if you think that your chakras are little balls of color on your spine, like here's a little red one, here's a little green one, here's a little blue, then it's kind of like saying that the map drawing of Arizona is the state of Arizona. It's just not. It's a representation. It's a framework that we can use to understand. But that's limiting yourself to being a 2D stick figure drawing, which we clearly are not. We are these hormones in motion. We are fluid in motion, right? We are bodies in motion. We are frequencies on 1,000 different levels. There's the frequency of cancer, there's the frequency of laughter, there's the frequency of desire, there's the frequency of intelligence, there's the frequency of sleepiness, right? All of those, that's the frequency of purple, all of those are different frequencies, and we call them colors, sounds, feelings, emotions, but every single one of them is frequencies. We have an amazing way of being able to harmonize and balance within the ecosystem that we're in, including the other beings around us, humans, plants, bugs, waterfalls, whatever. We harmonize with that, and that's why we feel amazing when we go to the ocean, or we feel really tired when we're around toxic people, okay? Because our energy is trying to harmonize with that, and it's either being dragged down or elevated by. And what I'd like you to learn how to do is not become the subjected victim of the energy around you, but to actually be able to hold your integrity no matter the energy around you. What do you want to say? That you got. Awesome. Carrie, would you give her the microphone, please, because I want to hear what she got. Thank you. Because when she gets it, what happens to the rest of the room? Right? Thank you. What did you get? Apparently that's not working, so. Is it on? Hello? Oh, it's got a green light. Okay. She's like, I got it, but now I forgot. Yes, absolutely. And so if your brain is sending out frequencies around you, like a homing beacon, then the girl next to you, the woman across from you, and some person you've never met in Namibia also just got a hit.
Right.
Awesome, great, she got that, perfect. You guys all get that? Anybody go, no, you're full of shit, I don't agree. Speak up, please, trust me, it's great to not always agree, thank you, okay. So because it's not little balls of color, because they are actually represented as frequencies that we call color, right? We then get to have the experience of how to use the chakras. All right, so like, oh my God, my third chakra is so blocked. I can't get anything done. It's like silly and trite to even think that. I mean, we say that. I've said that totally, but there's so much more to it. So imagine, if you will, for this. So everybody, just do me a favor. Sit up, close your eyes, rub your hands together. So in my teaching, we do this a lot. We do a lot of hand rubbing. Anybody know why we rub the palms of the hands together? Say what? Generate heat? Yeah, but that's not why I'm doing it right now, because it's plenty hot enough. What else? Stimulate the nerve endings, absolutely. And what else? What else? Energy, yeah, what else? That is a frequency. What else? Balances the hemispheres of the brain, which is really nice. When you touch the left side of the body to the right side of the body, right? Balances. When you're crossing your legs in easy pose, you're balancing the hemispheres of the brain, right? This also brings you into present moment, right? So I don't want y'all like, oh, what am I doing later? Where are we going for dinner? Like, who cares? Like, you're not there. You can only be here because we are only present. We are not future. We are not past. That's all make-believe. We are clearly where we are all the time. And that sounds like, oh yeah, I know that. Like, do you get present with that? That's like a really awesome awareness. You're only here. I'd like to see you bilocate. Well, if you take enough ayahuasca, you can bilocate. Otherwise, you have to just be present here in Sedona. All right, so close your eyes, please. Roll them upwards and inwards, focusing on the pituitary gland. This is a drishti. This is an eye yoga, right? So rolling your eyes upwards and inwards, focusing on the pituitary gland, and rubbing the palms of the hands together. I'd like you to please get present with your breath. So inhale through the nose, and let your diaphragm expand outwards. Keep rubbing your hands, please. Let your diaphragm begin to expand outwards, filling the air from the lower, the middle, then the upper lobes of the lung. And then as you exhale, you draw your belly inwards, releasing the air from the lower, the middle, and then the upper part of the lungs. That is a full diaphragmatic breath. So continue to take a few moments of feeling that expansion of the breath and that deep release of the exhale. At this point, if you'd like, you can just rest your hands in your lap. You can bring them into a mudra. You can just sit with them comfortably on your lap. Doesn't really matter. At this point, I'd like you just to sit and have presence for a moment. And I'd like you to feel that awareness of what happens when you roll your eyes upwards and inwards. What do you feel in the muscles of your eyes? You probably feel a little pressure. If you were to like have your eyes open and look at the tip of your nose, you'd feel like, oh my gosh, I'm crossing my eyes. There's this pressure in my eyes. You'll get the same awareness as you roll your eyes upwards and inwards, looking towards the pituitary gland. You're now pushing the easy button. Think of it that way. You are causing that awareness, that little bit of pressure in the pituitary to cause a download of positive wellspring of hormones can lash just right down into your body. So just become aware as you inhale. It's like you're sending that clarity of awareness into the third eye, into that presence, and you're just going to let it trickle down through your entire body. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to become aware of the air on your skin. I would like you to become aware of the feeling of gravity on your body as it pulls you down into the earth. I would like you to be aware of the temperature of the air as it comes into your lungs. And just have that moment of experience as your heart is pumping that blood into your lungs, how the blood in those little capillaries picks up oxygen molecules and carries it, distributes it through every part of your body, down to the furthest extremities, so that this oxygen can hydrate, nourish, and expand the awareness of this body. And then as you exhale, those depleted toxic gases are released through the exhale, releasing them from your body. And this process occurs 24/7, hopefully all the time, easily, effortlessly, and beautifully until the time you take your very last breath. And in that moment, you disincorporate. And so what I'd like you to begin to experience is go back to the palms of the hands now that you have this body awareness, now that you are embodying your being. And once again, just lightly rub those hands together just for a moment, just to kind of tap in. And now just become aware of the feeling of the fingers sliding up and down the palms. Is it smooth? Is it slippery? Is it warm? Is it cool? And I would like you now to hold your hands maybe 2-3 inches apart and become present to that ball of energy in the palms of your hands. I'm sure you've done this 1,000 times. And just feel that ball of energy in the presence between the palms of your hands. It may feel spongy or marshmallowy. It may feel sticky. It might feel as if two poles of a magnet are repulsing against one another. It may start to expand and get even bigger. You have chakras in the palms of your hands. So more than just in those balls of color that you've become aware of on the spine in those little 2D diagrams, you have them all over your being. You have them in your eyes, in your nose, in your mouth. You have it at the point of your chin, bless you. You have it in your ears. You have it in the soles of your feet, in your joints. You have it all over the place. And you have really, really powerful ones in the palms of the hands. And traditionally, those healers who are born with very active palm chakras do hands-on healing. You can activate that through doing Reiki attunements or any other awareness of expanding that energetic alignment of the palms of your hands. So just feel that energy in the palms of your hands. And I'd like you to begin to experience if there's a color or a texture or a dimension or an awareness. Just what is it? What is it for you? There's no right answer. There's only what you experience. And I would like you to take that spongy, beautiful ball of light, and I would just like you to expand it, just like you're opening a doorway of light. Let it get bigger and bigger, brighter and brighter, shinier and shinier. And just expand it outwards until you hold your hands at the full width of your body's expression. So, your fingertips go out to the edge. So from fingertip to fingertip, maybe it's 6 feet across, depending upon how long your arms are, 7 feet, 4 feet if you're really little. And I'd like you to expand that awareness. You are now in a 360-degree bubble. I call it Glinda's magic bubble from The Wizard of Oz. Thank you, Glinda, one of our great goddesses of American history. And let that 360-degree bubble begin to shine. Now, as that bubble shines, as it gets expansive in your awareness, I would like you to begin to see, notice, become aware, or visualize if there are any weaknesses, fissures, or blocks within your energetic field. You may see them as smoky points. You may see them as cracks. It may look a little dark. It may feel heavy. You may or may not experience anything, but just try to use your spidey senses and see if you can't become aware in a 360-degree ball around you of what's going on in this snow globe of your being right now. So your energetic body, naturally, your auric field, your subtle body, goes basically from fingertip to fingertip in a 360-degree ball around you. You can expand it much bigger. You can bring it in much closer. What I'd like you to feel or become aware of right now in this awareness, and you can keep that ball and bring your hands back to your lap if that's more comfortable for you. Keep the awareness of the ball. I'd like you to know that when you are in a harsh environment, let's say, something like the mall, where there's like 1 million people around, a lot of energies, a lot of craziness, and you start to feel a little weird or depleted, you're in a nightclub, someplace kind of crazy, I would like you to actually grab hold of the inside of your auric field and pull it really tight, pull it close to your body so that's maybe like 1 inch or so around you, because otherwise it's going to act like a giant net, and it's going to comb and process the energy of the room around you, and that's not your job. You're not there to clean the mall, unless, of course, you are there to clean the mall, and then I hope you're getting paid for it. That's a big job. So when you need or feel the need to close and cleanse and strengthen your energy, just pull your auric field in super close, super tight, and let it be like a thick, radiating, sparkly glow around you. Just like 4th of July sparklers all around you. And notice how that's going to keep you intact and keep you less feeling that pull of others' energies. Now let's say you're someplace like the beach or the forest. You can let your energy expand outwards as big as you like, and so that it encompasses the entire field. In fact, it can encompass the entire earth. And let yourself feel that when you expand your energetic glow into that place, that you're actually clearing and cleansing your energetic field, and you're asking for a reset with the energy bigger than you, which is Gaia, which is that universal download. Take a breath. And just for the moment, become aware of that energy. Just become aware of that feeling, just what experiences it causes within you, that awareness now. Take another couple of breaths and just be in that happy place. Perhaps it is in one of the vortexes here in Sedona. Perhaps it's in your favorite happy place. Perhaps it's in your inner space. Let yourself experience, download, and feel that wonderful energetic attunement and alignment now. Feel the energy of the room get brighter. Feel as if the energy in your body gets brighter. You may feel tingles, ripples, shiver down your spine as the energy attunes. And as you attune, you help uplift the energy of those around you. Feel it happening now. Become aware of your spidey senses getting clearer, shinier, brighter. Notice how your breath may have gotten easier. It may feel as if your sinuses have cleared when you harmonize the left and the right being and you come into that integrity. Oftentimes it opens up that third eye, and you get that feeling of like, wow, I can breathe really cleanly now. You may notice that your heartbeat has come to calm, and that you feel a sense of peace. Take one more big breath. Bring your awareness back into your body, back into that alignment. Feel yourself like dropping like water into a glass, into the physical body. Take another long, slow, deep, easy inhale. You may wish to touch your body again. Rub your hands on your physical body. Rub the palms together, and open your eyes. What happened? Who had an experience? You get a microphone if you had an experience. Yes, ma'am.
When we were working with expanding the ball, I felt it as a contraction and an expansion. So it was almost like bringing the two magnetic poles of a battery together, and then it was like pushing them apart. And then when you asked us to expand our field to incorporate the room, it was like this sense of complete, like, loss of everything, but also becoming everything at the same time.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
awesome.
really lovely. Thanks, everyone, for sharing that with me.
Yeah, thank you for letting her have that great experience. Who else had a lovely, yes, ma'am? I love my daughter so much. You know how fun it is to take her out of school and let her come on a field trip with me? Like, this is so much better than like whatever else she was going to do today. Thank you, my love.
Just as she was mentioning when you were saying to expand the ball, I imagine these colors that just came out of nowhere, and I thought that was so interesting. And then, as you said, to kind of play around, I found myself like moving my right hand, which is where I actually have tension in my shoulder. So I was almost subconsciously just loosening that part of my body to expand the ball, I guess, in depth. I thought that was really great. I don't know. I realized that as I was sitting there. I was like, wow. So
Pretty groovy.
yeah.
Yeah. You see how you could use that to change the experience of an ailment within your body?
Yeah.
Notice I said change the experience of the ailment.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
do you get what that means?
I don't.
Awesome. Who gets what that means? Thank you. We are experiencers, right? We're going to talk about that. My love, she wanted to say something. Thank you. Just give her the mic, because he's going to yell at me otherwise, and I want to keep him happy.
When you say changing the experience of the ailment, you're not actually altering the ailment, you're altering your relationship to it, thus like actually creating how it occurs for you. So the ailment may still exist, but your experience of it could be completely gone.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So let's just back up for 2 seconds. You may have an ailment called a missing leg. We're not starfish. You're not going to regenerate the leg. So there's only so much you're going to be able, but you can change your relationship to your ailment, yeah? And the ghost pain and all that sort of nerve, whatever craziness can change. It can shift. You may not grow the leg back. You may have a mass in your body that you change your relationship to that mass. You have forgiveness for your mother. The mass goes away. You may not have that mass anymore. Yes, ma'am. You want to grab it with her, sweetheart? Thank you, baby.
Well, what you're saying reminds me of what one of my mentors had said. It's oftentimes people identify with their ailment, right? And so by changing that identity with it, that you're not that ailment,
Yes.
you start to be able to dissolve that, I guess, that form. I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so sick. Wow, I've just totally gave myself a sentence. I'm so, right? We identify ourselves as the being of something, and then our body goes, okay, sure, if that's what you want, I'll give you that, right? So you get to change your identification with what it is that you experience. Over the course of time, if you keep doing that, you might actually have a completely different body, because what I can tell every single one of you, because none of you are 7 years old, every single one of you has a completely different body in this moment than what you were born with. There is not a single cell that is the same. If that does not blow your frickin' mind to keep you up at night, I don't know what does. We have cloned ourselves every single day over and over and over and over again. What if every night when you go to sleep and you leave your body to go to the altered state, your body has the opportunity to completely reset itself and you could wake up in a different experience? What if? What if you never tried? You would never know. But what if you tried and you were like, every single day, my body actually shifts in its perspective and its awareness, right? I'd like to hear next year what y'all get from that. So feel free to email me and let me know. Okay. So we have the opportunity to shift not just our experience of our physical body, but as we do that, because this is where we sort of experience it, we live, but our identity, our energy, our beingness is non-local. When I say non-local, I mean it doesn't live in the body. It borrows the body. The body is a great vehicle. She walks us around. He has us feel things. We can interact with this amazing 3D world through this vehicle, but we're not this vehicle, right? We're so much more than this vehicle. That's right. They're like totally affirming that. So when you actually shift your perspective of this vehicle, you get the opportunity to shift the way you interact with the world around you, right? Let's talk about being that in the flow again. Like, oh my God, like coincidences are just happening. Amazing things are just coming up. Like, or like, oh my God, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed and like my whole day has been shot ever since then, right? You set up the circumstances for your day the moment you came into consciousness and you set those dominoes in motion. Thank you, sweetie, right? You guys got that? You start the day, you chose the whole day, and you're either cloning and replicating yourself from the day before or the week before or the 14 years ago when that thing happened and you're still pissed off about it before, or you've completely recreated your experience and you're having a new timeline starting now. Now. I would like you to be someplace other than now. It's not going to happen, so you just might as well be now. So, what does this have to do with the chakras? So in my meditation with my teachers and with my experience from plant medicine to trippy, crazy, whatever out there, coming back to this body as the vehicle. Anybody see the movie Avatar? I love using pop culture as like a great spiritual teacher because they're so awesome. So Avatar is one of my favorites in that sense because this is your avatar. And you're on that planet of whatever it was called with the blue people, right? Your consciousness, which is not local, which lives in infinity, right? As we were talking about forever, you've heard this in every class of your life, probably in that sense of infinity, inhabits this vehicle in order to interact with this dimension. Take a breath, please. Exhale that. What did I just say? Anybody? We embody this vehicle in order to engage in this reality. Yeah. Do you know what that means? Do you have a visceral experiential being of that? Yes, ma'am.
Human experience is our reality now.
Yeah.
But our self is the universe.
There you go. With the capital S.
Right.
Right? Totally. Which is like half of a figure 8, which is kind of awesome.
So the unboundedness is everywhere.
Totally.
So if you get stuck in the now, in the yesterday, then you can't experience the now, the self, the infinite.
Exactly. Right? Which means you're going to have a limited amount of experience here because your filter is going to be so filled with before or ago or that stupid asshole from yesterday. That's what your filter is going to be processing still instead of you being clear, clean, and present and being now and having this like, oh my God, I like get to be here with all of you right now. Like that sort of unicorn and rainbows moment, right?
That's why the people that are there in the present moment smell so much more beauty in the rosebud fragrance and see so much more vibrancy in the colors because they're not focusing on the problem they're having with the cook.
That's right. They're not having that problem. They're also not processing that person still, again, tomorrow, right? And you get to be more fully present and engage with the world around you by sensing it with your chakra system. Your chakra system is what allows you to interface in this world. So for me, all of these beautiful swirling things, if you get like really, this is actually really fun if you look at it with 3D glasses or like with a magnifying glass, it suddenly like gets really 3D, which it wasn't planned that way, it just worked out that way. But all of these little guys, all of these PowerPoints, they're vortices, right? We call it chakra, which is the spinning wheel, right? The wheel. They're vortices, just like you are here in Arizona, right? So these vortices, these spinning energetic frequencies, think about like when you pull water in the drain and it like spirals down, that's a vortice, right? So there's a vortice above our head, there's a vortice below us, and there's all of these vortices within us, like all over the place, even in that giant bubble that's around you, right? Interacting with the world around you, each one attuned to a different frequency like a gong or those beautiful crystal bowls that Ashana was playing last night, right? Take a breath, because that's freaking big that I just said. Let yourself feel what that means. What does it mean that you are vibrating on 27,000 different levels and frequencies right now, and you're processing it as like, oh my God, I'm so hot? Right? Do you see how we limit our experience? That in that moment when you allow yourself to be multisensory, multidimensional even, if you will, you get to have like a full-on LSD orgasmic full body experience, like a lot. Maybe not when you're driving, but it would be great, maybe, to prevent road rage and let it spread to the other cars around you, right? And you see how suddenly then your attachment to like only having one leg becomes so much more diminished, because now you get to enjoy the experience of having the rest of your being interface with the world around you? Do you get that? Okay. So these vortices that are all attuned to a different frequency, which is why whenever you do, anybody ever do like energetic sound healing work, like with tuning forks or the gong, or, right? My darling, would you give her a microphone? Because the goddess in turquoise, my favorite color, right? This is a frequency, right? Like when you're wearing, if you're wearing black all the time, like what is your frequency that you're wearing black all the time?
Right, the frequencies are powerful, as you're saying. I had experience with the gong meditation. I am a teacher, of course, for 20 years. However, when I was introduced to the gong, I had never had that experience, and it was really a wonderful experience. So I teach a little bit of yoga, 45 minutes, beautiful, gentle, and then we go into the gong meditation for another 45 minutes. So it's fabulous, and it draws people together.
Yep.
And every experience each time with the session is different. I have students here that have experienced it as well. So that's just a brief little version. Plus we had 12 Tibetan bowls set up, 2 gongs, Tibetan bowls. And what an experience in a smaller space with maybe 12 people probably would be the max. We had to turn 4 people away last time. So I think people are getting more and more aware of the vibrations and how to access them. And as you mentioned, even color.
Yeah.
It's true.
Totally.
Thank you,
teacher.
thank you.
For your work on this planet. It is so awesome. Go to her class,
Thank
guys.
you.
Seriously. It's the more we have teachers who are expanding the field of knowledge and holding more and more space, do you see how everybody benefits? That's so awesome. Thank you, Goddess. So it's absolutely that. So you get to attune your frequency. You may have a full-on like cry session after just listening to a gong, because that frequency was what you needed in order to harmonize and balance the entirety of your being, right? Just like you may have needed that, Snickers bar, I mean, not Snickers bar, but, power bar, whatever it was, right? So as much as you need to harmonize your digestion frequency, you may need to harmonize your mind or mental or emotional. Yes, ma'am, sweetie, she's got one too.
I have a question about the chakras in
Yes, ma'am.
particular, and something that I've always been confused about. Do we affect the chakra, or does the chakra affect us in our being?
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Both?
Totally.
Okay.
So it's a really beautiful question. So do we affect the chakras? Absolutely. If you chose in this moment to get really pissed off, like if I activated you in some really not fun way, right, and you just chose to dig deep into that, what do you think would happen to your energetic system?
Is it still? Okay. I feel like it would, everything would just go.
Yeah, totally, right? Absolutely true. And that would be a choice that you would have actually made, consciously or unconsciously, to allow yourself to diminish to the deep depths of the Haagen-Dazs depression.
Right.
Okay? Now, you then have the choice to do something awesome like Qigong or yoga or Tai Chi or some pranayama or whatever to elevate and amplify that. What would happen to your energetic system?
I feel like it would light up.
Totally.
Okay.
Now, let's say you walk into Best Buy.
Just the fluorescent lights, just.
I know, right? Like all of a sudden you have like a headache, right there.
Right,
and
right.
Then let's say you walk into, the vortex.
Right.
Right? So the bigger energy will also affect you. Right?
Okay.
The bigger energy of the ocean or the vortex or the roaring mass crowd at the soccer game will also affect you.
Right.
Which is why you then have to kind of like dig deep with your tools and elevate and change your experience. Either pull your energy in close so that you're not being like pushed around in that crowd, or let it all hang out and let yourself get that healing, right?
Gotcha.
We do it with our meditation, we do it with our breath, we do it with our food, we do it with our awareness, we do it with our word, right? In the beginning was the word, right? So
Right.
we are our word. That is a frequency, that is an energetic awareness of what we speak, we manifest. We like blue plops out of your mouth, falls on the floor. Blue, it just happens, right? So we keep manifesting the world around us, and we sort of think like, oh no, it won't really happen just because I say it that way. Well, it sure really will. The more clear you get, and the more you allow yourself to be like super clear in your vortices, the more you're going to start manifesting, 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 manifesting. Does that
Okay,
make
so they're
sense?
directly connected. So it's not
Absolutely.
one leading the other.
Yep.
I guess it goes back to the infinity then.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you.
Thank you. Awesome question. Anything else? Please jump in. It's your class. So, so when your vortices, because I'm going to use the word vortice just because it's a little bit more neutral than saying chakra, because we still have that sort of association. When your vortices are open, what do you think? So when you think of vortice, you think of something that's a bit more like spacious, right? It's got like a forward, a back, and around, a density, right? So your vortices in your body, they're swirling and they're all interacting with each other, right? So it's not possible just to have a blocked third chakra. They're all affected, right? If your gut is stuck and you can't go poo, your whole body is affected, not just your gut, right? You feel icky everywhere, right? And if you can't stop with a sneezy nose, your whole body feels everywhere, right? So you are deeply, intimately connected. So when you do your physical practice to work on something, you may have that feeling in your gut of like tension and anxiety and like nervousness, and you may feel like this a lot. So all the like great yummy breathing practices in the world, that's fine. You may get a little bit of relaxation, but it's going to come back again. It's going to come back again. Because on another dimension, on another frequency, you have an emotional component attached to it as well. Your emotional component as to why you decided to keep that there in the first place is also important, because without that, it's going to come roaring right back. Or the circumstances in the world around you are going to come up and go, see this again? Oh, see this again? Oh, let me show you. See this again? You still got to clean this up. Do you know what I mean by that? Oh, yeah, right? You're like, oh my God, I totally already forgave my mom. Why is this still keeping? Well, because there's probably more deep stuff. Maybe you forgave her in this lifetime, but you didn't forgive her that time when there was, you know. So we have an emotional component, a spiritual, mental, physical frequency component. All of those go together in our chakra system. So when you, the avatar, pop into this plane with this 3D dimensional experience that is relevant to this world, the laws of gravity, the laws of physics, the laws of whatever, they are specific, and this body must work within them. You then have a great deal of latitude of what you're going to do within them. And that's when you're going to start to really clear and cleanse your chakra system so that you can have more freeway, more power, more balance in this life than just being the haphazard victim of the tsunami around you. And there's a lot of tsunami all the time around you, right? Every single one of us. You can turn on the TV any moment, 24/7, and find tsunami if you wanted to, right? You can equally turn on 24/7 anytime in the moment and find, you know, Lake Shasta, whatever. So in your handy-dandy little handout that I gave you, which we're not going to like read in class right now, but one of the things I do talk about is that there are chakras on the planet. Anybody have that awareness of chakras, chakra points on the planet? Yeah? Have you been to any of them? Yeah? Run.
Grafano County called La Vida, Colorado. It's by the Spanish Peaks. I understand Sedona is another chakra point. And then there's one in South America at some beautiful place. I don't know where that is. But they go around the globe, the different chakra points. I just know because I'm lucky enough to be here in Sedona in one of them. And I have a ranch in La Vida by the Spanish Peaks. And that attracts lots of spiritual people and enlightened beings.
Thank you for that, goddess. Like you get to be there and you get to vibrate on the chakra system, which is really quite powerful. So Mother Earth has, I mean, as many as you have thousands, Mother Earth has thousands, right? There's some main PowerPoint ones like Lake Titicaca in Peru, Mount Shasta, Ayers Rock. You know, there's some really sort of superpower ones on the planet that are like the big kahunas, right? Like the LA, believe it or not, LA is also a chakra point because it is the communication point for the planet, right? If you look at how much communication on this planet occurs out of Los Angeles, believe it or not. So there's lots of them. Vortexes here, vortexes everywhere, right? And the chakra points will move. They will kind of, drift a little bit within their parameters. They will move like they will in your body, right? So when you need to energize and replenish yourself, you can actually go to those vortices, those chakra points, regenerate yourself, clear and cleanse yourself, or meditate upon it. So you can get a picture of Mount Shasta, you can get a picture of Sedona, and you can meditate upon it or just kind of recreate it in your mind. You can go to it and you can tap in, because there is no such thing as time and space. Thank you, Albert Einstein. We can actually be there in that moment. That's the best we can get with bilocation with a physical body. We can go there energetically, drink it in, and then bring it back into our well-being when we live in Boston or Chicago or Philadelphia or wherever else we are, right? Which is really quite awesome. So when you're going to be working with your own energetic system, and you're going to be like wanting to manifest something in your life, you're going to use your chakras, believe it or not, to help you do so. And that's what we're going to be practicing and playing with today as well. We'll just talk about sort of the ABCs of chakras were here, if you will. But the main sort of PowerPoint of there. So the first one is going to be the root chakra, right? We all know about that. And the really funny thing, I love how language is really key. We will oftentimes use language really descriptively and not actually know that we're also talking energetically, but we do. So anybody ever hear the expression of like, they got a real stick up their butt? What do you think that chakra looks like? Right? Super tiny, super small, like super clenched, like really nervous, like really uptight, right? So we will say crazy things like that, like to indicate what we see going on. Now, people wouldn't go like, oh my God, your root chakra is so tiny. But they would say like, oh my God, they're like totally, blocked up. So we will use language that way. So just start to pay attention what your spidey senses, what your knowing is, like what your first initial gut is when you start to see things on these people, like, or in yourself, and start to use that language constructively. It's kind of a fun little game. So that your root chakra, that's your connection to, not just we think of like, oh, it's my connection to the earth, like I'm going to go down like into a mine, and that's great, you can do that, but it's your connection to all of this. This is your root survival. That is the very, very essence of being human in the first place, being this differentiated being from others. Your root, think of it as the number one umbilical cord between your body and this earth. I look at them actually all as umbilicus. I see them all as umbilical cords. They don't just come out, they come in. So they are portals. They're these energetic interfaces, like a membrane. So you know how some membranes, the really, really thick ones, certain stuff can't get through, really, really thin, porous ones, only like water can get through, or only like, certain, and you know what I'm talking about with like membranes, like different densities and thicknesses. So they all have their own density and thickness, if you will, that only allows certain frequencies to come through. So if your root frequency is like super toxic and super grody, you're going to be attracting grody experiences to you, right? You may feel unbalanced, you may feel ungrounded, you may feel unprosperous, you may be afraid for your life a lot, or like feeling that like general sense of anxiety. Anybody ever get any one of those? Yeah, right. Oh, only 4 of you. Awesome, the rest of you. Thank you. Clearly, we don't need to have this conversation. Then your second chakra, your creativity chakra, that beautiful. So ever see like the embers in a fire? Like that warm orange, like that's what it looks like to me, that beautiful, warm, rich orange, that like fire. Fire actually is, I look at it as kind of like a deity. I look at fire as being like this, bless you. So fire has this wonderful, it consumes, it breathes, it expands, right? It has this wonderful dimension. If you get really friendly with fire, you can like work with fire, put your hands in it. It's really, really a cool frequency, bless you. And so you can really kind of tap into that super fire frequency there in your second chakra. That creative one. It's no question why babies come in there and babies go out of there, right? And anytime that you're feeling really blocked up in your second chakra, a lot of times it has to do with that connection you either have to your mother or your father. If you're men or women, oftentimes it'll be with the same sex. Or if you have any sexual abuse or trauma, guess where it's going to live? Right there in the second chakra, okay? Because that's where a great sense of our identity as the female or as the male is going to live. It's going to rest in that place. So if you have like uterine fibroids or infertility or prostate weirdness or whatever, right? A lot of identity issues are going to be living in second chakra. So it's not uncommon. So if you're working with clients, teachers, if you're working with clients, healers, if you're working with clients here, you'll start to see those psychological, spiritual, emotional, like, oh, let me guess, you got some trauma daddy issues? Okay, great, that's where that's, So it's not uncommon to have those there. So you can't just do like a little crystal and like a little feather wand over the testicles. You're going to have to maybe go a little bit deeper into why that male identity is so blocked up that it's become cancerous. Bless all of our men on this planet who deal with that. It's really heartbreaking, right? So then we're going to come up to third chakra, that big old belly, the solar plexus is a sun in there. That's why when we do breath of fire, which you will be doing today, if you don't know how to do breath of fire, awesome, we're going to learn that. When you're doing the breath of fire, you're activating. It's like the bellows in the fire, right? When you ever see the bellows, you know I'm talking about the fire, right? You blow the bellows like this and the fire gets bigger, right? That's what you want to do. That's why we do breath of fire, to really activate that third chakra and to get that heat up. And you may have a hot flash. You may start to sweat. You may start to get super hot really fast. I actually would rather have you get hot from doing breath of fire than from doing heated yoga. That's artificial heat. Get your heat inside. That's where the detox is going to come from. The detox comes from you sweating from the inside out, not because you're standing like a sweating cold glass of water. Who cares? So get that heat within you, detoxify within you, squeeze those cells within you and throw it off. Get the apana out in that way. So you want to work on that sun. This is your creativity. You're either a pushover or a domineering bully if your third chakra is out of alignment, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm totally a victim to everybody else's stuff. They're pushing me around all the time. I'm a hapless little girl in the woods. No. Or you see those people who are what, pushing their belly out on you all the time, ugh, like that. You're gross. So this imbalance is really important because it's going to be how we interface and interact with the world around us, right? Either we're going to become the subjugated or the subjugator, right? So now, let me just back up. I am all about the healthy ego. Y'all, you need a big, strong, healthy ego if you're going to move anything on this planet. You will not by oh, please, if it's not too much trouble, if you wouldn't mind. No. That's not going to get anything done. You have to be in your integrity, be in your clarity, be in your strength. You need to have a strong, focused center to move from. And I'm a Kundalini yogi. If anybody knows anything about Kundalini yoga, but that's my tradition. So in Kundalini yoga, we have the lower triangle, the upper triangle, right? And they all meet right here in the center point. So you move in these two hemispheres, upper and lower, from this center point, which is connected from the belly and the heart. So you want to have them super strong and super connected. You will see people who look as if they've almost been guillotined, in the hat, they can't access their heart space at all. They're all stuck in their head and it just ends here. Stuck here and they can't relate. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You cannot get them into their heart space or their feeling space at all. They're all super intellectual. They're not grounded. They lose things. They fall over things. They can't find their glasses. Because they're not in their actual body. They're sort of dislocated up here somewhere in their head space, right? Otherwise, you have people that are so grounded and so rooted that they're non-imaginative whatsoever. You can't get them to understand anything you're saying because they're so shut down, right? Because they're all down here, compacted. So, which is why we want to have that flow in all of it. You want to say something? Yeah, no? Okay, good. So from this strong, balanced ego, right, that beautiful sun, we then pull it up into our heart space, that wonderful emerald green with that beautiful feeling of compassion, not empathy. Empathy is oh my God, I feel your dog died. Oh my God, I'm so sad for you. No, you're not so sad for you. I'm so sad for frickin' me. I'm not sad for you. I'm sad for me. So I don't want to be sad for me. I want to have compassionate space for your feeling that your dog just died. I will hold space for that, but I will not let my heart open up and bleed on the floor because that's not serving you or bringing the dog back, because that would be weird. So we want to keep our hearts broad, open, and expansive, but also realize that any of those attachments that we're going to send out, like little meat hooks into somebody else, that's not love and that's not helping them. Anybody know what I'm talking about with the attachments and the meat hooks? Yeah? So we're talking about cord cutting on that sense. Anybody ever done any cord cutting work? Yeah. Anybody not know what the heck at all? Please say, great, awesome. So we have in these umbilicus between us and everybody else that's in our life, we've created cords. We didn't know that we were creating cords, but that's part of that sense of keeping people safe. We're talking about that herd, going back to that sense of early communication, sort of pre-verbal, pre-language communication. We had those connections the bison are coming, Totan is in trouble, I must go, right? So we have those sort of psychic connections that would go through our umbilicus into other beings around us. Well, we're still those pieces of meat from ever ago, right? Because those cells have replicated over time. And the consciousness that comes within these cells is still dealing with the physics of this planet, right? So your consciousness may have evolved, but the planet is still, coming where she's coming. So if you fall in love with someone else, your heart's pouring open, your belly's pouring open, your roots pouring open, you're just pouring yourself into that being, and then suddenly they break your heart, you are shut down. Your whole thing hurts. You become sick, you become unwell, and you learn to not trust because you've just opened yourself completely and they ripped your heart out. right? They didn't actually do anything to you. You allowed yourself to get there because those cords of attachment had you be, I'm okay if you feed me the way I want to be fed, right? Anybody know what that means? She has a comment, my love. Would you go? It's a beautiful goddess in turquoise. Gives me a second to have a drink of water, so thank you.
Well, I think it's a deep subject for sure.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking that the word enabling comes into my mind because I feel like empathy is a good thing, except you have to know when it's not. So to me, it's a balance. And then when I know, this is enabling, no, don't go there, because that's not helping somebody. Am I on the right track with what you're talking about here?
So there's a difference between compassion and empathy. Empathy is I feel within my being what's going on with you, right?
Yes, correct.
And that's so anybody who's a mother or who's had a child or who is a child of a mother, right? You have probably an empathetic connection with your mother.
Correct.
Right? That sense of like knowing, that like just deep knowing, right?
Right. My mother just died in November, and I was like, oh my God, we were like close friends.
Yeah.
My beautiful mother, 92, passed away. I mean, I went up there to Canada every 2 months. Anyway, that was a deep connection that we had together, both of us.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful, I'm very lucky, very blessed. So I know I was raised in an empathetic family.
Yeah.
So, I know empathy. But I also know that it could turn into something, what we're talking about, which is the darker part of empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, beautiful description. That's why I say if we stay out of that whole awareness of empathy is like, I know myself because of you.
Yes.
We don't need to do that anymore.
Yes.
We just clearly, I don't need to know who I am because you reflect who I am to me, right? I get to know who I am because I connect to source.
Because you connected to the higher source, the higher power,
Woo-hoo.
whatever woohoo.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do here, right? So there's nothing wrong, bless you. There's nothing wrong from saying like, I know who I am because my best friend told me like these pants make me look fat and I should never wear them again. Great, that's awesome, fine, we got that. That's a great level. But to really truly know yourself, you're never gonna get the full picture from your best friend because she's got her own filter of stuff in between you and her, and that's just how it's gonna be. That's just the reality of it, right? So we're not ever gonna get the full picture from anyone else's description of us. We can only get it within ourselves with our meditative practice, with our yoga practice, and by connecting to source, whatever you want to call source, yeah? That's why I make that distinction. It's not to say that we don't go, oh my God, your dog, your mom, that's great. But if I'm now crying for you, that's my problem. That's not helping you. That's my ego suddenly stuck with your, right? Okay, awesome. Do you understand the distinction? You can say no. Okay, good, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
People's energy as an empath. I just feel, so that's whenever you're talking about empathy, sometimes I can't help that, because I can feel them, whether it's something positive and it makes me feel great inside, or if they're, going through something, like I feel it deeply. Yeah. I just tell myself like, these are not my emotions, because I kind of have to put that, I guess it's like you said, like bring your energy in closer.
Yeah.
But as an empath, it took me a long time to figure that out. So just
thank you for saying that. Yeah. And that's exactly why I'm having this conversation, because you're patterning, who knows how many lifetimes of being a healer? Who knows how many, goddess? How many times has that saved your life? Has that been the way that you've been able to do what you've needed to do? In this lifetime, it's probably more in your way than helpful, because clearly you've had to do a lot of work to be able to booty on the mat where you are right now, right? So that's what I'm talking about. It's not to say that there's never been value. It's to say it's probably not serving you if you're having like, oh my God, I can't, right? If you have to like do so much work. All right, so that's why I'm saying you get to shift that so that never has to be even a question anymore, right? Sensitive children who have been born with a lot of these, sensitivities, whatever, they have to work really hard. They don't know When it's me and when it's mommy, they don't know. They have to be taught this. They have to learn this. And so that's why hopefully you then get to learn this, and you get to have your own awareness of it, and you get to share it with your community, your children, your family, your friends, right? So going back to the whole cord cutting idea, right? So anybody that you've had sex with, anybody that you've sat next to on a bus, let's just be like anybody that you've changed money with, anything that you've had any exchange with somebody, you may have gotten a tiny little gossamer thread or a great big huge cable, depending upon how much information is going between you and them. All right? And you'll start to know, because if they say something that hurts your feelings, you will be devastated, because you've put so much energy into what they need to feed you that you feel, brokenhearted if they don't feed you the way you need to be fed, right? If they're not giving you your cocaine, you're going to be really upset when they stop giving it to you, whatever that is, right? Does that make sense? All right, so that's part of being, as I call it, the caretaker of your form, which is actually written in here. Being the caretaker of your form means that you do not allow yourself to be so invested in the energetic exchange with another human being that you do not have your own integrity. As a teacher, you must have your own integrity. It is out of integrity to sleep with your students. It's also out of your integrity to do a whole bunch of other stuff on this planet, right? But your integrity is who you are. That sense of strength, not just being your word, but that sense of connected, of being aligned, is who you are. And that is your work to do. That is why we do the practice. So the only beings that I would say do not cut cords with are going to be your little people. Don't cut cords with your little people. They need you. If it's a 27-year-old little person who's got a heroin addiction, please cut them. Please don't let your grown children with their problems kill you, because you can't. You just can't. You can love them, but you have to give them to source, honestly. Everybody else, cut them. They're all divine creatures of light. They're all connected to source. I don't have to fix you. You're awesome. I don't have to heal you. You heal you. You're in great alignment. And when you remember that everyone is their own healer, everyone is their own teacher, everyone is their own guru, you stop having to fix everybody. Your job becomes so much easier. You just hold space for their divine awesomeness to show up, as it will, and you don't get in the way of it. We don't dilute the experience by putting our stuff in the middle, right? Do you know what that means? Take a breath. Otherwise, it's our unbounded ego trying to say, like, oh, yeah, you should really start doing the whatever I think you should do. It's crap. Who knows? We have no idea. I don't know any of your languages, what you've grown up with, what your challenges have been, what your strengths are. I can guess. I can surmise. I don't know. And if you're going to put your awareness, your healing in the hands of someone else, then you're diluting the possibility of your experience of having a direct line communication with Source, which is why we want to have our vortices clear, clean, strong, and bright, so that we have that deep interface between us, this community, this 3D reality, and Source directly coming into us and feeding us like water into a spring, so that we're never depleted, or we're not as depleted as we would have been before. So it's really easy to be super psychic if you're in the Himalayas, because there's like very little noise. There's very little atmospheric, chemical, emotional, spiritual noise around you. You're like by yourself in the, whatever. It's easy to get like enlightenment. It is challenging to get enlightenment in I live in LA. So LA, right? Super more challenging because you have to process all that stuff, right? So the awesome yogi is the one who gets to be awesome 24/7. And you don't have to process that stuff. Do you see why it starts to matter? The more chaotic your life is, the more the demands are on your life, the more you have to be a super integrous yogi, so you're not working so hard to elevate your energy every single day. So if you're going to bed at night completely exhausted, completely depleted, feeling like wiped out, you're processing a lot of stuff for other people all day. And that's not your job. I'm sorry. We love you. It's just not your job. And even if you're paid as a healer, it's definitely not your job. As a massage therapist, you don't want to be sucking up their stuff. Jesus, no. Let it go, right? Okay, cool. So any questions, or we're going to move into some physical movements to kind of put this awareness into your physical body? Yes, ma'am. My lovely assistant will help you.
Okay, I feel like I might answer my question through asking it, possibly.
You might.
But when you say connecting, so know thyself through your connection with Source, I feel like it's impossible to transcend to the highest degree this human lens that we have, this egoic lens that we have. So in the quest to know thyself, is it more of a choice or is it some divine ordination?
Really nice question. Again, I will say both, because I'm a Pisces and I just think that all of it's true. I really do believe all of it's true all the time. I really do believe it's all true. So yes, it is divine ordination. Every single one of you, every single one of us, every single person being watching this live stream, yes, you are here on purpose. You're totally here on purpose. And it's not to get a job and to get a boob lift and to have a nice house in Boca Raton. That is not the point. It's awesome. I'm not saying don't do it. It's whatever you want to do. It's fine. Whatever. That's not the point. The point is to move your energetic needle in some way that you feel something, okay? I don't believe we're here to do. I believe we're here to feel. What is this body made for? Right there. What is a body made for?
Sensory experience.
Sensory experience. Think about that. It is all sensory experience all the time. That feels so good. That's so delicious. That smells nasty, right? It is all sensory experience. And we get so caught up with like, I feel this, I feel that, we get caught up in like this sort of random stuff, but think about it. You have a gajillion nerve endings. And they're all here to feel. Yes, sir. The Shiva in the room.
Yeah. Not sure if this is a technicality, but when you say manifesting,
yeah.
Is it more manifesting or tuning into a different synchronicity or frequency which already exists?
Yes.
Or like a parallel universe?
Totally.
Yes. Okay.
Totally. So let me ask you, keep it for 1 second because it's a really awesome question. I love that. So how would one be different from the other?
Yes.
Right? We speak it. It's there. There is no such thing as time and space. We're all existing in all these universes all at the same time. We're all having multiple experiences all the time. And we can tap into the timeline, the awareness, the frequency, the life force that has abundance as its hallmark, or we can equally tap into the one of famine. In this moment right now, you all have that choice. Right? Yes, my love.
So if our whole point is to be the receptor of a sensory experience.
Okay, take it further. Take it further.
That's what I heard
Okay.
say. I don't 100% agree.
Great, because I want you to go further with that one. It's not deep enough.
I agree that there is a path to increase the sensory experience.
Yep.
But if all we want to do is sensory experiences, we could all become LSD trippers, and that's the flower
Totally.
children, and
Totally.
that did not get people to the essence of where they are.
Right.
So you have to kinda get past
go
that.
deeper than the sensory, right? So if the body is made to feel, so what?
So what's under that?
Right.
And
So
what's
what is under that?
Well, some people would say fear of death.
Okay, so let's say we've done our homework. We've already learned that fear of death is like a total waste of our time because we're all going there anyway. Whether you're afraid or like joyous, doesn't matter. Death is always sitting at your shoulder. Death is always, this is the shaman, okay? Death is always sitting at your shoulder. You may as well be best friends with him or her right now.
That's right. So what's under that?
Right, what's under that?
The abyss, the void, the total creative
The
level,
fertile
everything.
infinite, right? The fertile infinite.
The fertile infinite.
This is the fertile infinite right there.
Fertile infinite.
Okay? Exactly. Yes. I just like that word, yes. So I'm just going to take 2 seconds and explain this because you're going to get a minute of this in there. So this is the fertile void, as we were just saying, right? So see all these little points of light? We're going to get to your question in 1 second. See all these little points of light? Let's just pretend that those are other planets, they're other consciousnesses, they're other anythings, right? A planet is a consciousness, Gaia has a consciousness as much as, a hummingbird has a consciousness, right? So these are all other forms of consciousness, right? So there's you. So just for example, we're going to pretend every single person in this room is a star, and every person out there is a star. Just for the second, just put your, they are a star eyes on, okay? Now, just from where you're sitting, easily where you're sitting, 360 degrees, look at who and what you can see directly around you, right? Now, some of those people out there, the vision between you and them is blocked, right? You can't see them, they can't see you. Some of these people in this room, the vision may be blocked by a little pole, so they can't see you, can't see them. But you have lines of connection between each and every one of these. Just like if you took a laser pointer between me and that guy's butt, There's a direct line of connection between it. If you were to turn around and look and I were to wave at him, you'd go like, oh my gosh, right? Direct line of connection between all of that, which means every person there has direct line of connection between them and between here and people we don't even see right now. We're all connected, right? Direct line of connection instantly right there. Now, all of that awareness comes into this giant vortice, this huge 8th chakra, which we have above us, which is also in your paper, this huge 8th chakra, which pulls all of that divine energy into us. We translate it through our vortices, our color frequencies, our chakra system. We then put it within our awareness of the physical body, which is interacting with our avatar experience. He, she, it, this being, then connects into the collective awareness that we call Earth, that we call 3D reality of March 2017. That is a collective consciousness awareness, make no mistake. And from that, every single one of us are generating like a 3D hologram, this world that we're all experiencing. That is my reality. Doesn't have to be yours. That's what my shit's shown me, let me tell you what. And I also truly, deeply believe from the bottom of my being that if every single being on this planet for 1 second stopped generating their belief that this was real, it would all go back to the void. Take a breath. I see all of this awareness like a pop-up book that pops up, that we are all, from the moment we are conscious, i.e. egg and sperm meeting, coming into different layers of experience and awareness, going through birth, going through life, being transmitted, downloaded. This is what women do. This is what men do. This is what people in the Northern Hemisphere do. This is what people with brown hair do. This is what all those rules that we're incorporated into, all of that skill set that we are imbibed with, all of that belief system that we're all downloaded into, like the Matrix, right? Like just downloads into us and boom, there we are, okay? If we all stop believing in the Matrix, we'd all go back into the void. Because this is just cells vibrating at a particular frequency rate that we experience as skin, we experience as fabric, we experience as plastic. It's just a vibration, it's just a frequency. If you get to the quantum level, there's no difference between that and a hummingbird. Do you get that? We, through our experience of our being, create the world that we experience. Which is why you are not in a drug gang in Colombia right now. You're creating this experience. For all you know, there is no such place as Antarctica until you go and share the experience of Antarctica. Inhale deeply. And know that that breath has come to you from a million exhales of trees. Know that every drop of water that's in your body has not been brand new. Your blood is cycled through the very nexus of creation, and all that creation is now. Take another deep, deep, deep breath, please. Inhale deeply. Rub the palms of your hands together. If your legs are a little sleepy, extend them, please. Shake it all out. Oh. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And please come to standing. We're going to start to do some postures that are going to help you to come into awareness of your chakras and help you to come into awareness. Now, these are postures that I put together in a way because I really happen to love them. I think they're relatively accessible for most people, but also they work. And so there you go. But they're not clearly the only ones. They're just the ones that we're going to play with right now. So please come to standing. So teachers, I never teach standing forward fold or seated forward fold with the legs together because I deal with people with problems and like pregnancies and whatever. It puts too much pressure on L4, L5. So I always work within the box of the body. So my feet are always hip width apart. So for this purpose of this demonstration, we'll do hip width apart. What I would like you to do, where's our camera? Is that our camera? You got 3. Where's number 3? Oh, right. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, great. So we're good no matter what. All right, great. So what I'd like you to do, please, put your hands into the hip crease, the hip flexors right there. Okay, so not the bones up here, but literally these guys right there, the hip flexors, okay? That's what runs through and connects to your tight low back. So if you got tight low backs, this is what part of what you're gonna work with. So what I'd like you to do is roll your shoulders back and down, put your fingers into your hips, elevate through the heart, chest, chin, okay? Chin reaches forward, come to flat back, and push your booty to the wall behind you. Now just come to flat back for the moment, please. Stay here, take your hands, put them behind you, lift up on the tuchus, pull it up, and feel how it opens you right there. Yes? Good, that's what it's supposed to do, because what are we working on? Root chakra. So you want to lift up right there. And then put your hands here, press hold of your thigh bones, lengthen, elevate your lumbar, extend out of your hips, reach your chin, chest forward, hang down, please, standing forward, fold. Interlace your arms one over the other, and just begin to lengthen in the neck and drop yourself down. Now, what I'd like you to do while you're standing here, and of course, different flexibilities will have different experiences, but what I'd like you to do is just play a game with me for the moment. Don't do anything, just think about this. I want you to take your heels and clock them 1/4 of an inch closer to each other on the inside of your feet. Feel what happens to your pelvis and low back when you do that. Probably feels pretty icky. What I'd like you to now do is walk your heels 1/2 an inch wider than your pinky toes, or 1/4 of an inch, or some small measure wider than your pinky toes. Notice how that just opened up your pelvis. Do you feel that? Anybody not know what the heck I'm talking about? Awesome. Take a big breath. What I'd like you to pretend that you're doing is pressing your tailbone and your pelvis to the wall behind you. Put a little bit of weight back into those heels. Feel the whole back of your legs lengthen and extend. Do you feel your root open to the sky? What I would like you to imagine, experience, visualize, and feel is that your root chakra is open to the light of the sun, and you are letting the light into this beautiful place of your body, this honored place of your body, this place that we are afraid of, this place that we've often shunned, like it's some other land. Open up your root chakra. Lift the tailbone to the sky. Drop your head and heart to the earth, and ask, entreat, and open up your pelvis to receive the light of the all that is. Feel as if it's going to drip down the spine like water pouring from the tailbone to drip off of the top of your head. Take a few breaths here. If this is excruciating on the back of your legs, you may bend your knees 2% just to take the pressure off. However, I will also invite you to remember that lengthening those knees and opening up the backs of your legs will help to release low back tension and tightness. So just be kind with yourself. Over time, your legs can get straighter and straighter, and you can fall deeper and heavier. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply, open it 1/2 an inch higher. Feel as if you're going to extend, letting your upper thoracic just bend 1/2 an inch deeper into the earth. I oftentimes get an upper spinal release here. It's so yummy. Now what I'd like you to do, make sure your feet are hip-width apart. You can put your fingertips to the floor if that works for you. Elevate the heart, chest, chin. So I teach, again, coming into chair pose a little bit differently than a lot of other teachers do. What I'd like you to do is have your fingertips, if you can, on the floor in front of your feet, so that when you bend your knees, your elbows are at your knees. Your booty is reaching to sit back into a chair that you're almost not quite able to touch. Knees should be as wide. So open your knees wider, my love. Yeah, we don't want to clock our knees inwards. We want them out in the box of our body. Booty is down, heart, chest, chin is up. Please look up. I want to see everybody's chins. Beautiful. For the moment you're touching the floor, just touch the floor. Now put your booty back like you're going to reach into a chair. Yeah, your thighs should be parallel to the floor. Beautiful adjustment. Parallel to the floor, heart, chest, chin is up, shoulders are flat. You're in a chair, not a bar stool. Down, yeah. So don't tuck your pelvis. You have your pelvis just tuck. Yeah, keep it flat, but now sit like you're sitting on the very edge of a chair. Back, back, back. Gorgeous. That's it. 2 inches deeper. You got it. Down, 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 down. Awesome. Awesome. You may stay here. You may stay here. I don't care what you do. What I'd like you to do is, again, feel your heels a little bit grounded down, because we want to be working with second chakra. I want your sex organs activated. I want you to feel like you're opening your pelvis, right? To let the light in, to let your connection to second chakra, to the earth. Do you feel that? Try to stay in your heels if you can. Your booty muscles are stronger than your knee muscles, so your thigh muscles, so sit back in your thighs more. If this does not work for you, that's awesome. You're welcome to come into full squat. Feel what that feels like. If you'd like, come all the way down into full squat. Have your feet even wider, my love. As wide as possible. Yeah. Shoulders are back and down, palms in prayer position, and sit up really tall. Yeah. Press the pelvis forward. Yeah. I teach mommies to have babies. I do. This is where babies come from, right there. Pelvis comes forward. Breathe. You can also do this, goddess, if you'd like to, by leaning your booty against the wall, and you can do sit-ups this way and come into the practice. Whatever, it's all good. What I want you to do is, can you connect to your second chakra here? You can say no, I don't feel it. Because if you don't, I'll help you feel it. You don't feel it. She's like, I don't know, what the heck are we trying to feel? Okay, what I want you to feel is right there above your pubic bone, to right, like an inch above your pubic bone, an inch behind your pubic bone. Imagine that your birth canal, your vaginal canal, is just a giant superhighway right now to the earth. How's that? All right, so if you could imagine it, what color would it be? Right now, no right answer. Just what? Awesome. I want you to get it bigger. I want you to turn it orange. I want it to get hotter. It's red. Awesome. So between the yellow and the red is orange. So think about orange, like a giant tangerine. Just let it get really big. Do you feel your body getting hotter? Anybody feel their body getting hotter? Awesome. Awesome. Take a breath. Put your awareness there. Where the energy of the mind goes, the energy of the body will follow. Really, really beautiful. Take another breath. And bring yourself to seated. Now, do you feel any energy interactivation between the root of your tailbone and your sex organs? Any connection between those two things? Yeah? A little bit more fluidity. Okay. So consciously choose to open it. Consciously choose to put some awareness there. Let the posture be the, knock on the door, and let yourself jump in to meet it. Does that make sense? So work with it. Beautiful. Arms are at 60 degrees, please. So 60 degrees is right in front of the shoulder, so it's not straight up, okay? That's going to hurt your shoulder joints. Just in front of your shoulder. So everybody, like 2 inches in front, right? And at a V, V for victory, right? Beautiful. What? V for vagina, yeah, but we're now coming into the solar plexus, so yeah, V for solar plexus too. Awesome. I love you guys. Fingers come inwards to the palm, thumbs are facing one another. The thumbs are doing an arc above your head. Everyone has an energetic arc line above their head. Anybody familiar with the arc line? Men have, we all have this. Bring your hands up a little closer together, my darling. There you go, 60 degrees, perfect. Everybody has the arc line above their head. In the old days, they would paint like a halo over people, right? It's because they could see the arc line above their head. Women are lucky. We have another one that goes from nipple to nipple in the front of our bodies over our heart space, which is why women, we feel all that stuff in our heart. But everybody has it above their head. So we're going to do something called the ego eradicator. Any kundalinis in the room? You know this one, right? 3 minutes, breath of fire. Now, anybody not know breath of fire? You don't know breath of fire? Awesome, awesome. Okay, great. So what you're going to do, all of the breath is through the nose, okay? All you have to do is exhale. Don't think about the inhale. Don't even worry about the inhale. I don't care how fast you go. I don't care how slow you go. I care that you go connected. So your breath of fire may be... That's fine. It may be... Don't care. Doesn't matter. Whatever you can do. Give it up. Arms up. Dealing with ego, guys. Get those arms up. If you like, you can do it with your eyes closed, rolled upwards and inwards, focusing on the pituitary gland. You've got 3 minutes. Go. So this is going to help to balance your third chakra, balancing that ego point. Right? When our ego is out of balance, we either are dominated or domineering, which is equally irritating, both of them. So you want to feel that sense of strengthening yourself from the core. And I know you're going to be like, oh my God, my arms. Stop with the arms, get into the belly. Let the whole body do the work. As much as your freckle on your arm, you may think it's separate from the rest of your body, it's still part of the entirety of you. So keep those thumbs reaching that beautiful rainbow. Tap into some of that Sedona energy. Let it come up through that open channel of your booty that you just opened up, connecting to that umbilicus of the earth, and pulse that belly. Exhale, 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 exhale. Strike the stomach towards the spine and maybe a teensy-weensy bit upwards into the cavity of the rib cage. I want you to feel ecstasy here, and if you're feeling like you're grinding it out, then get happier. Choose yourself within the center of your being to find this way of power, right? Remember how when someone in the room gets it, everyone in the room gets it? My teacher Yogi Bhajan would say, when you keep up, you're kept up. If you keep up, you will be kept up. The energy of the room will keep you up. So tap into the energy of the vortex. Tap into the energy of the Mother Earth. Tap into that place that's bigger than you, that's much bigger than you, that's bigger than your ego, that's bigger than those worries, that's bigger than those, do I look good? Do these pants make me look fat? Come on, all that crap is just a waste of time. You got bigger fish to fry. And if you're worried about all that little stuff, then think about how that amazing life force energy has been devalued, and give yourself the good stuff. You got a little bit more to go. Let's go. 60 seconds, breath of fire. Come on, dig really deep. This is only 3 minutes. And for those of you who are Kundalinis, you know that we do this a lot longer than 3 minutes. I would, in fact, like you to get so strong that you could do this for 11 minutes. Could you do this for 11 minutes every single day? Who would you become? How strong would your ego be? How strong would your life force prana be if you could do this for 3 minutes and feel like you could go forever? That would be amazing. Think happy thoughts. Think empowering thoughts. Arms up, arms up. Yeah, up, 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 up. Come on, it's no easier to do it down here than it is up there, so you might as well do it right. 10 seconds, go. Give it everything you have for 10 seconds. Pretend that your life depends upon it, because this right now is the only now you have. This is the only second you have. Make it count. Get real. I want to see snot. I want to see sweat. I want to see tears. I want to see hearts pouring out of your boobs. Let's go. Exhale, 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 exhale. Everybody inhale deeply. Squeeze. Pull up, mole bund. Bring the fingertips to touch above your head. Seal that arc line above your head. Squeeze. Don't drop your breath. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Put the backs of your hands together. Exhale. Comb that beautiful energy through your magic bubble. Sparkle, sparkles, feel that chill. Ooh. Bring the hands down to the earth, palms in prayer position. Bring them up to your heart space. Take a second. Be in your center. Feel whatever you feel. Breathe. Exhale. On your next breath, please come onto all fours, hands and knees. We're going to do cat-cow. Again, I teach cat-cow a little bit differently because most of the time I see people collapsing in their lumbar, and that's not a good cat-cow. That's kind of an unfortunate thing. That's back pain waiting to happen. So what I'd like you to do, hands directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips, in the box of your body, okay? So they should not be touching. Everybody take a second here. Look at the thumbs should be facing one another, the other fingers relatively extended. Do me a favor, and if your inner elbow is rotated to the front of the room, rotate it to face one another. Yeah, yeah. We don't want to do that because that's going to tweak ourselves. We want to have the elbows facing one another. Beautiful. Everybody else, do me one favor. Drop between your shoulders. Just drop. Look up, look up, look up. Drop. Just want to see. Okay, this is bad. Don't do this anymore. That's it. Stay up. Doing cat-cow's got nothing to do with this. Okay, totally different body movement, so stay out of it. I don't want to see any of the, no, stay out of that. Here, we're now working on the heart space. So all that beautiful work you just did with the first, second, and third chakra, lift your chin, pull up with the chin. I want you to feel from your chin to your diaphragm that the whole front of your body is stretching intensely deeply. The spine is relaxed. Your tailbone may come up a little bit, but I want it to be upper chest. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest, tailbone's going to curl lightly down. Press the heart space up to the sky behind you like you're opening, you're cracking open the shell of your being. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curl. That is your posture. Close your eyes. Go upwards and inwards. And feel that heart space elevating and lengthening. The chin does the work. Let the chin be the guiding factor. The chin is directly located with the energy of your lower back. So if you see people coming in your yoga classes, teachers, where they're kind of diving forward and they're leading with the chin down into the chest, they're going to be hurting and compromising their posture. So always have them Lead with the chin, extending, lengthening out of the back. Beautiful. And just be aware to be super kind with the lumbar, so don't drop into the lumbar. Let the chin do the work. Feel the heart lifting. Now you can also do this by going a little bit faster. There's an awful lot of sleepy cows in here. Inhale, lift, exhale, close. Inhale, lift, exhale, close. We want to take that energy from the lower triangle, right? The lower parts of your body, and I want you to squeeze it up. Yeah, squeeze it up. Notice the difference the moment you intend it to be different. Squeeze it up. Exhale, press the heart out of the back of your body up to reach the sky. Inhale, lift your heart forward so that it's reaching up, sending that beautiful, glorious, divine sternum to the front of the room. Gorgeous. Couple more moments. Deeply get into it. Let yourself feel it. Breathe. Beautiful. Bring yourself up on the inhale. Reach, 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 reach. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Open up the heart space. Open it up. I want you to feel your heart like it's pressing forward. Just like you took your booty and pressed it to the wall behind you before, now you're taking your heart and you're pressing it up to the front of the room. Lift, 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 lift. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Chin to chest. Curl yourself back into your toes. Sit on your feet for just a second. And just roll from pinky toe to big toe. Just stretch out your feet. If this is excruciating, please do it all the time. We do not have feet like geisha. We have feet like this. Open your feet. See my feeties? Yeah, curl them up so the toes go underneath. And you're going to roll from pinky toe to big toe. So you're rolling in your ankle. Thank you for asking. You're rolling in your ankle. So sit up on them and put some pressure in them. Yes, ma'am. You said that you do prenatal yoga. I do. Is this safe for prenatal? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so the only thing that I would not have prenatal do would be breath of fire. They can do ego eradicator with long, deep breaths. They cannot do breath of fire. Okay? Yeah. Thank you. I actually certify for pregnancy yoga because, not just for pregnancy yoga, I don't do modification of asana. I teach women how to have babies. So how do you create yoga postures that she can use in labor without drugs. So awesome. I did it for she came out that way. She was born in 2 hours. I'm not magic. I'm not magic. I just use the tools. All right. Inhale deeply, chin to chest, slowly curl, extend yourself back up. Awesome. Bend your knees softly, curl, chin to chest, back up to standing. You guys are such nice yogis. All right. We're going to work on the 5th chakra here. So what I'd like you to do is, I don't really care which leg is forward, it doesn't really matter. I want you to come as deeply down as you would like to come. Okay? As deeply down as you would like to come. If this does not work for you, you're welcome to put the knee to the floor. Whatever works for you, I don't care. Because what we're focusing on here for the moment is going to be taking all of this beautiful energy up the spine, up into our throat. So to take it from our heart up into our throat. So what I'd like you to be aware of is really bringing that heel back, sending this crescent of energy all the way up. Inhale. Lift up. And feel your throat. Now lift your chin. Lift your chin. You should feel pressure in your throat. You can have your arms straight up or you can drop your elbows, opening up like you have a giant ball of light. Press the heel back. Root into the right hip or the left hip, whatever your bent leg is. Open the throat. Breathe. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeper. I want you to feel it in your throat. Elbows go back. Chest and chin is elevated. Take another breath. Palms in prayer position. Drop the knee. Switch legs. Or come into plank and switch legs. I don't care what you want to do. Whatever makes you happy. Set yourself up for your pose. If you do not feel it in your throat, please let me know. Bring it up. Breathe. Now this beautiful throat, her color is turquoise. Color of expression. When your heart is connected to your throat, you are speaking your truth. You are owning that you really do truly feel something, and you're giving voice to it. You are not staying silent. You are allowing yourself to open up and express through the vibratory frequency of your vocal cords what is living in your heart. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Drop the knees, come to child's pose, please. Sink your hips back to your heels. You're welcome to put your thighs a little bit wider than your rib cage, extending down, Guru Pranam, palms in prayer position above your head, on the floor, extending in front of you, or up above your head, whatever works for you. Up in the sky or on the floor. Traditionally, we teach this on the floor. So you want to have that line of energy from the fingertips through the arms into the crown of the head, running down into your tailbone. Ideally, your forehead is touching the floor, because that's what we're working on here, is we're working on that insight, that intuition, that inner vision, that inner knowing. If your forehead does not reach the floor, you're welcome to put a block or something underneath it so that you can put some pressure of the third eye into that space. That's where I'd like all of your awareness to be in this moment. For those of you who find it uncomfortable to be in this position, when you do it at home or when you do it in class, you can also put a block under your booty or a bolster or what have you. The idea and the awareness is to tip your tailbone to the earth, to open up from the root to the crown of the head, to allow this free flow of energy to come all the way up to the third eye so that you can know. Rather than having any of you think for one more second, I would rather have you know, deeply know. And interestingly, your third chakra is very deeply connected to your third eye. If you've ever had a gut knowing, that deep, like, I totally knew it, you did know it. Your gut knowing is that sort of primal knowing. It's that animal knowing. Versus your third eye, which is that inner knowing, that connection of source, that sort of sense of intuition. So let your third eye and your third chakra deeply speak to one another. And let yourself know. I would like you to let yourself know whatever it is that is most important for you to know right now. I would like you to know that you are enough. Simply because you exist, you are enough. Rock on. I love how synchronicities happen. It's so beautiful. Let yourself know that every second of your life has brought you to this moment. That had 1 second been different, if any of that stuff that you regretted or like, God, I would have totally done that differently. Had you have done that differently, you would not be here right now. You would be having a completely different now. And this now is the accumulation of every now. And it is the basis of the cloning of the now that you will extend into your future. So make it count. Make this now rich. So that every now is based upon this foundation. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Chin to chest, slowly curl yourself back up to sitting into your tailbone. Put your weight into your feet and curl yourself back up into standing, into your mountain. So the feet rooted into the earth, shoulders open back and down, palms come forward into that sense of receiving. Mountain is an active pose. It's not just standing around waiting for a bus. Shoulders are back and down, heart and chest is lifted. I'd like you to feel as if I were to come and grab hold of the tippity-tappity hair at the top of your head. Your neck is going to extend like I am suspending you from a string all the way down into the heels of the earth. I would like you to experience yourself as a lightning rod. That you are the center point between the earth and the heavens, the tonal and the nahual, the physical and the non-physical. I would like you to experience yourself as the repository of an infinite amount of information. Your fingers are antenna grounding this energy into the earth. Your feet are rooted deep into the divine. Your root chakra running this beautiful ruby red tether into our mother. Your heart open into the room around you. Your belly expansive with the breath, feeling that empowered state of I am. The crown of your head lifts up and opens up into that beautiful vortex, receiving of information above you. Feel how when you stand here, you are in that integrity so deep that you are the mountain of all being. Let your crown open, let that tingle run down your body. Feel like water is being poured over your skin, sparkling, rippling, changing the energetic pattern of your being now, changing the cells that will replicate in this next breath. Inhale. Exhale, open the arms above you, please. Grab hold of some of that beautiful sparkly light above you, like your arms are open to this channel of light. I would now like you to hold on to that 8th chakra. The 8th chakra is that soul level chakra. Feel like you've got a spotlight, like a 1,000-watt light beaming on the top of your head. You should feel heat. You should feel this connection, this density, like gravity, the gravity of light. What does it feel like? Open it up between your hands and feel this exchange, this umbilicus between you and the divine. And in that space, ladies and dear gentlemen, what is your heart's desire? Whatever it is, put a picture of it, a name of it, a feeling, a smell, a sound, a dimension of it. Put that hologram right now between your hands into your 8th chakra. World peace, physical well-being, prosperity, abundance, dynamic joy, sexual expression, creative flow, joy within the family, harmony at home, peace on earth, peace in your heart. Be in that state of the I am and unapologetically declare it to yourself now. I am enough. I am that abundance, that prosperity, that well-being, that peace, that joy, that delight, that awesomeness. I am this now. Feel it and know it. Declare it to yourself as true. I'd like you to imagine that you've stamped a paid in full on it and just send it up that chute, up to source right now. Just give it up. Give it away. Know that that is so. You have delivered your message of intent wholeheartedly, with great love and passion for self, with great compassion for others. Inhale deeply. Feel it run down your fingers like water, like wine, like sparkly, effervescent glow, like you're in a waterfall of this magical light. Let it pour through your body all the way down into the earth, grounding and rooting yourself deep into the core of this mother. Experience that there is this wellspring, this dynamic light at the very center of this planet, that you are connected as above, so below. And that you are this pivot point, the meeting point of the heavens and the earth. That you are spirit incarnate. You are the avatar. You are the awareness of the matrix. And you are that being of the divine. On your next breath, keeping that column of energy as big and as broad as you'd like it to be, just begin to pull it down over your body, like slipping into that sheath of light. Let it coat your entire being. Feel it, a ripple, a tingle, a sparkle, a glow. Send it to the earth. Let yourself enjoy that lovely feeling. Actually, everybody just do a little Oh my God, doesn't that feel good? Do it again. Inhale deeply. When you vibrate the feel what part of your body vibrates. Let yourself vibrate like a tuning fork. One more time, please. Inhale. Vibrate to your toes. Vibrate all of your chakras. Keeping that awareness, keeping that intention, keeping that space. Gently bring yourself back to the earth. Sitting in any position that feels comfortable for you. Connecting with any mudra that feels comfortable for you. Keeping your counsel. Now, what I would like you to do is check in back with your energetic bubble, and also check in back with that spiraling vortex of energy within you. Can you now have the experience of yourself as formless, as being an expression of the infinite void, of the divine God, Goddess, all that is? Nameless, timeless, unborn, undying, limitless. Awareness unbounded by space or time. Awareness unbounded by cultural confines. or gender identity or gravitational awareness. Allow yourself to be unbound of the laws that you knew to be as if they were finite. And let yourself experience yourself as the infinite. Inhale deeply. Draw this awareness back down into the very core of your being. Do a quick little check-in. Make sure that your energetic field is clean, clear, bright. Notice that any fissures that may have been there before are now cleared. Experience yourself like you've just taken a giant lint roller and cleaned off all the crud. Cleared and cleansed your experience so that you can be completely present with your experience and with the experience around you, knowing that you are the crystalline lens that's experiencing the world, that you are creating this being and this experience with every other that interacts with you. What an honor, what a gift, what an incredible blessing it is to hold space with you. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Thank you for coming to class. Thank you for allowing me to hold space as your teacher. It is truly an honor and a privilege, and I look forward to seeing you all next time on the mat. Satnam. Thank you, yogis. Thank you. How y'all doing? Feel good? Better, right? Awesome. Unfortunately, I only have 2 hours to talk about this because I could literally talk about it forever. Not just this, but anything else. I'm literally going to be racing from here to go to the Hilton Ballroom B, Canyon Room B, something B. I'm going to be teaching a restoration yoga class there. And it's not just going to be restoration of laying around on pillows, but actually teaching about restoration as a healing modality and how it helps in any yoga practice, so please feel free to join me there. I'm also on Sunday morning doing an 8:15 meditation class, and it's not just for teachers, it's for anybody, but it's really like a lot of teachers are sort of afraid to put meditation into a class because they don't know what to say or what to do or what it is. I've been a certified hypnotherapist for 25 years, so I'm all about getting into the theta brainwave state. So if you can create the theta brainwave state in your class, the job is done for you, basically. And there's a lot of tools that you can do to get into that state super easy. So please allow me to be of service in that way. There's a little flyer here. You're welcome to connect with me in any way possible. Let me be of service and let me help to have your practice be completely stellar and off the hook, because I do awesomeness training. That is my point. That is my pleasure. So thank you. Ask me any questions you like. Have an awesome day. And thank you, Sedona Yoga Festival. It's been an honor to be here with all of you guys too. Thank you to them for making that possible. All right, Satnam. Thank you.